Call the January 8th, 2024 Goshen Board of Education organization meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. I'd like to call for a moment of silence as we begin a new year and new beginnings. All right, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Schenkel, will you please come forward and swear in the newly elected board members,
Yes.
Melissa Paprocki, Lisa Warnicki, and Corey West.
I'd be honored. All right, if you guys would raise your right hand and repeat after me, or not repeat after me. Do you solemnly affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge your duties as a member of the Board of Education of the Goshen Local School District, Claremont County, Ohio, to the best of your ability and in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereinafter to be enacted during your continuance in said office and until your successor is elected and qualified?
I do.
All right. Congratulations to all of you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you and congratulations. All right, Mr. Schenkel, can you please call the roll?
Mr. West? Here. Mrs. Werke?
Here.
Mrs. Paprocki?
Here.
Mr. Herrera? Here. Mrs. Gray?
Here. Do we have a motion to approve the organizational board meeting agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Schenkel, can you call the roll?
Mr. West?
Yes.
Mrs. Werke?
Yes.
Mrs. Paprocki?
Yes.
Mr. Herrera?
Yes.
Mrs. Gray?
Yes. We have a call for nominations for President of the Board of Education for 2024.
Yes, I nominate Deborah Gray for president.
I'll second. Any others?
Closed nomination.
Close nominations.
Need a motion? I move to close the nominations.
Second.
Mr. Schenkel, can you please call the roll to approve Deborah Gray for board president?
Mrs. Werke?
Yes.
Mrs. Paprocki?
Yes.
Mr. Herrera?
Yes.
Mrs. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. West?
Yes.
I just want to take an opportunity to thank you guys for your confidence and support. And I look forward to working as a united board moving forward to serve the best students, staff, and teachers the community could have. We have a call for nominations for Vice President of the Board of Education for 2024.
Yes, I would like to nominate Bill Herrera.
Second.
Any others? Do we have a motion to close the nomination?
I'll move.
Second.
Mr. Schenkel, can you please call the roll to approve Bill Herrera for board vice president?
Mrs. Paprocki?
Yes.
Mr. Herrera?
Yes.
Mrs. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. West?
Yes.
Mrs. Werke?
Yes.
I declare Bill Herrera as vice president of the Board of Education for 2024. All right, moving forward, I'd like to open it for discussions and recommendations on the appointment of board members to the following committees for 2024. Do you guys have an interest in specific committees?
Yes, I would like to remain on the committees that I have been appointed to. Do we need to say specifically which ones?
Audit and facilities?
Yes, audit and facilities.
I have been on community and staff public relations, so I'll remain on that one. I was on business advisory for some time, but I think we discussed, and I'll move to audit and finance.
I can do business.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to do facilities and remain on community public relations.
And I can stay on the CIP and business advisory.
And Corey, you want to join CIP with Lisa?
Sure.
Right. So do we have a motion to approve the appointments of Deborah Gray and Melissa Paprocki for audit and finance, Bill Herrera and Melissa Paprocki for facilities, Lisa Warnicki and Corey West for CIP, Bill Herrera and Deborah Gray for community and staff public relations, Lisa Warnicki and Corey West for business advisory?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
Mr. Schenkel, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Herrera,
Yes.
Mrs. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. West,
Yes.
Mrs. Markey,
Yes.
Mrs. Paprocki.
Yes.
All right, moving on to 8B, appointment of board members to the following liaison roles for 2024. I know Bill Herrera will continue on Great Oaks because it's a 3-year term. I'm interested in continuing on the Goshen Education Foundation.
I'd like to Township Trustee Liaison.
Okay,
And I've just recently began Student Achievement Liaison, so I would like to continue in that.
And I can switch to the legislative liaison.
great. Thank you all. As a part of our liaison role, do I have a motion to approve the appointments as OSBA Student Achievement, Melissa Paprocki, Goshen Township Trustee Liaison, Corey West, Legislative Liaison, Lisa Warnicki, and Goshen Education Foundation, Deborah Gray?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
Mr. Schenkel, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. West,
Yes.
Mrs. Markey,
Yes.
Mrs. Paprocki,
Yes.
Mr. Herrera.
Yes.
And then finally, 8C, I think we discussed that we'll continue on in our appointments to building representatives. But Corey, you're interested in
Middle school.
partnership with Bill in the middle school building representative. Do we have a motion to approve the appointments as Mark Hook, with Melissa Paprocki, Spalding, Lisa Warnicki, Goshen Middle School, Bill Herrera, and Corey West, Goshen High School, Deborah Gray?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Mr. Schenkel, will you call the roll?
Mr. West,
Yes.
Mrs. Werke,
Yes.
Mrs. Paprocki,
Yes.
Mr. Herrera,
Yes.
Mrs. Gray.
Yes. Thank you. Moving on to the 2024 board meeting dates. Do we have a motion to set the second Monday of each month at 6:30 p.m. as the date and time for regular board meeting for 2024, except the addition of June special financial meeting and moving November's meeting due to the OSBA Capital Conference 1 week. And all meetings will be held at Goshen High School Community Room unless otherwise properly notified to the public.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Schenkel, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Werke,
Yes.
Mrs. Paprocki,
Yes.
Mr. Herrera,
Yes.
Mrs. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. West.
Yes.
Moving on to item number 10, required public records training for elected officials. Do we have a motion to appoint the Assistant Superintendent, Teresa Scherzinger, and Treasurer, Todd Schenkel, as their designees under ORC 109.43A1 to attend a 3-hour public records training program for Board of Education members?
I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion.
Second.
Lisa, Bill. Mr. Schenkel, can you call the roll?
Mrs. Paprocki,
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mrs. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. West,
Yes.
Mrs. Werke.
Yes.
Right. Miscellaneous motions. Do we have a motion to approve resolutions to authorize superintendent to hire staff between board meetings and authorize superintendent to accept resignations or retirements between board meetings?
So moved.
Bill made the motion, second.
Second.
Melissa Hinkle, can you call the roll?
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mrs. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. West,
Yes.
Mrs. Werke,
Yes.
Mrs. Paprocki.
Yes.
And that concludes our organizational meeting for the evening. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Melissa and Corey, thank you. Mr. Shinkle, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. West,
Yes.
Mrs. Werke,
Yes.
Mrs. Paprocki,
Yes.
Mr. Rivera.
Yes.